Hello everyone, welcome to the first ever video on Little Ocean Tarot. This is the second home for Ocean Tarot. If you know me from there, if you know us from there, welcome. And you have 4 piles in front of you. We're going to take a look into how is your coworker looking at you? What's their opinion about you? What do they think of you? We have 4 piles. The first pile is perfect timing. Second one, if you believe. Third one, remain positive, and you're ready. I'm gonna wait for you to pick just one and let's get into it. All right, hello, pile number 1. You chose the perfect timing. Looking at the cards, I feel like you could be a very bright person with like a bright personality, or you kind of have this appearance as if like you have a lot to offer to the table. You have a lot to give to people and you're kind-hearted. I feel like your coworker sees you as someone who would like and who would be able to connect things together. I do get the sense that you could be very good at riddles and you could be very good with puzzles. That's very, very interesting detail that I'm picking up in here. Someone who's just kind of see things in various ways of working. You could be a very fast learner. You pick up things quite fast. I do get a sense also that you might be someone that they would call if there is like an emergency or a situation that requires a very fast maintenance, the type of person who would kind of pick up a call if someone needs them. That's the energy that I get here. And let's take a look into the first card we have here is the Squirrel Spirit. It said, believe in yourself. All right, very interesting. We're gonna just lay all of the cards together. Second one we have is Electric Eel Spirit. It said here that bring your ideas to life. Yes, I feel like you could be a very creative person, and sometimes you have a tendency, I think, to kind of doubt your ability, which is very interesting because the first thing that I pick up is that a lot of people would love to call you when they're in like emergency situations. So I feel like sometimes you could doubt yourself, or in a way that you could be surprised about how people would describe you if you were not there. So I feel like you're kind of a person with a multi-talent, or someone with a very various like I said, various interests, someone who's very unpredictable, hard to read in many ways, but they know that you would be there for them, and that's one thing, So I feel like you could be someone who people sees as you can believe that you're not believing in yourself, but I feel like they see that you actually believe, or it's worth it to have faith on what you are capable of, because I feel like you're kind of special here. Part number 1, I feel like your coworker kind of rely on you a lot deep down, even though they haven't really, it haven't really brought into manifestation, like they haven't even said it even on their mind, but deep down they know they can rely on you. Deep down they know they can count on you. So that's what I see here. Let's take a look further. The Fool card. Yeah, so this could be your upbringing, someone who's very free-spirited. They could be seeing you as someone who, like I said, doesn't really have a care in the world, and that could be also part of why you don't really trust yourself, because you don't have a lot of care in the world. We have the 7 of Air. You're smart. I feel like you're street smart. People see you as someone who can be like at times like get lucky, because of your ability, because of your you might have a very like interesting skill that a lot of people would kill to have. That's what I get here. And yeah, 6 of Fire. So you want a lot in life, I feel like, but you're unpredictable. That's one thing about you. You're very unpredictable. You're hard to read, and you achieve a lot of things that people don't even know that exist. That's what I get in here, especially with the Fool and the 6 of Fire and the 7 of Air. So I feel like you could be very non-traditional person, or you could believe in a very like non-traditional household or ideas, like something about you just kind of fresh to a lot of people. But also obviously some of them could also provoke a bit of a jealousy, because the different one always get bullied somehow, because you set an entirely different standard that people don't even know it exists before, and you don't even know it exists before. So I feel like many times you could exceed what people would expect from you, or more than that, I feel like you could be doing an entirely like a surprising stuff, and you bring it to life, which I think can provoke a lot of shock, or like I said, jealousy from a lot of people. What I get in here is that you're good with playing with resources. You know what to do with stuff. And the next one we have the 6 of Wands, another 6 of Wands in here. So like I said, I feel like you won a lot in life, and you're very capable to achieve so many things. I feel like you're capable of many greater things in life, and I think that's a lot, like a part of why, if you've noticed, like a lot of your coworker could talk you down into many things. Because what I say is that also sometimes you can be very like self-imposed person, you know, of mind. Sometimes you can be so not small-minded, but you're so scared of your abilities, or sometimes you're scared of hurting people, what I get here, or maybe you're just kind of scared of your of your tendency, of your abilities in general. What I get in here is that I feel like your internal life and external life is very different, and that's what a lot of people pick up as well. So when they see you outside of work, you could be like a complete different person than who you are at work, and I think that can throw people off a little bit, as we see on the Eight of Cups. You know, many times people feel like you're kind of searching for deeper meanings in life. That's what I get, and it's almost kind of like whatever you achieve, like you're never really satisfied with it. You're always onto something new, and I think maybe it's, we don't exactly know what is it on your heart, right? But I'm picking up of what people think and perceive of you in here, and they could be theorizing that maybe you don't feel so grateful of what you have. That's why you're always continuing your search into a lot of things that you could achieve forward. You know, while in fact I feel like some part of it is truth, but I feel like you feel the higher calling, or you're the type of person who doesn't settle for less. You're kind of like always, you know, try to find out about what you could push, what you could stretch, what you could do, what you could maximize, you know. So I feel like you're a very sustainable person. Like I said, you're you know, you're maximize the outcome, and it shows in here again with the Seven of Air. That is Seven of Swords, and we have Eight of Swords in here. So I feel like many times you can be, like I said, you can be so like, I feel like because you're so busy in your own world, you know, like you don't realize of how much differences, of how much capacity you have actually, you know, like you don't realize how much life you change by just meeting them. You don't realize how much things are moving forward because of you, right? So I feel like that's something that you don't realize, and that's something that a lot of people wish you would know. And your coworker definitely thinks of you sometimes a little kind of like a lunatic. I feel like, you know, you can be super unpredictable. Like I said, you can be very unpredictable, and you could be like one day you're partying, and like the next 2 hours you just like disappear out of nowhere, and that disappearance could be you applying for another job, and you feel like, you know, there's a deeper call, you know. So I feel like you're kind of a type of person who walks on, you know, the beat of their own drum. So just kind of enjoying really what is in front of you, and really just getting into it without any current care in the world, and that makes sense, I think, why a lot of people envy you, even though like deep down that's why you keep moving, because you try to feel something within, you try to find something within, but you just never seem to find the limit. So yeah, that's kind of more and less of what people think of you, pile number one. That would be all. I will see you in the next reading, I hope. And if you like to book a personal reading, I actually do have that. I will link it down below. Let's move on to pile number 2. Hello there, pile number 2. You choose the If You Believe card. So first of all, I feel like you're very, like, you could be a very serious person, or you could take things very seriously, or you take life very seriously, or something about your appearance could be serious. So that's what I pick up immediately from what your coworker must be thinking of you. And you kind of like have purpose, you know, so you have something to offer, you have something to prove, more like it, not what to offer. I do get that you could be a very intellectual person. I feel like you could be someone who is very well-read, well-traveled, or someone who with a very vast, various massive knowledge. You could be someone who people would kind of like lead, you know, like when especially when in a hard times or in a difficult situation, it feels like you're just the type of person to ask. So they kind of see you, a lot of people kind of see you as a form of authority as well. That's what I get in here. You could be sometimes, even though not a lot of times, right? But what I'm picking up is that you're kind of like a lone wolf in a way. So it doesn't mean you don't have any friends, or you're not, you know, like surrounded by friends, but I feel like you're kind of idealist in a way. You know, you have your own way of seeing things, and not in a way that makes you an outcast or something, you know. But I feel like people kind of see you as someone who would let's say like maybe in 3 years you would conquer something, or like you find something, you know. So I feel like people have a great vision for you. People have your coworker have a very high expectations of you. That could be the case, which can be both good and bad. Let's pull the next card here. We have the elephant spirit. We have number 25. It said learn from the past. Yes, someone with a very high wisdom. You are very full of wisdom. I feel like you're kind and wise. That's why there is a reason why I said I feel like people would let you you know, the whole thing, or be a leader in their group, because it feels like you're just the type of person that people would trust immediately. And with the elephant spirit there, it shows that I feel like you're the type of person who've gone through, maybe you've gone through so many things, and even though you haven't really talked about it, but people pick up that, you know, sense of you, the way you talk, you know, the way you walk, or the way you lead the room, or the way you sit down, or the way you talk, whatever it is. But there's something about you that screams past life to them. So it could be you're someone who's very knowledgeable about a certain aspect or factor, or maybe you have a deeper truth, you know, like it gives me kind of a stereotype, like a teacher stereotype. So people just would love to learn from you, even though sometimes you feel like, oh, I thought I will be the one who's learning in here. But I feel like people kind of unawarely, you know, I feel like people subconsciously kind of just have the trust, you know, for you here. Yes, we also have number 18. This is the dear spirit, bring a gentle touch. And that's what you're known as well by your coworker. You could be the way you talk, the way you walk, the way you approach. You could be a very gentle person, or like a gentleman archetype, you know. So you're like someone who people would have around, you know. Obviously, looking at this card right now, not someone to go to party with, but someone who would like, if they think about comfort, they would think of you. If they want to find a comfort, they would seek you, you know. So I feel like you're just the type of person who would make people feel better after they talk to you. And sometimes I think that kind of invites a lot of question, which like, where you even come from, and why do you have all of this knowledge, and how do you even, you know, like maybe you could be someone who's very young, you know. So like it could be your appearance is like comes up very different from what you hold on the inside, and people can feel that contrast immediately. So to say this is the type of person who would maybe you give up a very like a it girl or an it boy, you know, like that boy on a first impression, but deep down you're like the type of person who would love like a mom and dad archetype, you know, deep down. So you're not like on a teenager pace, turns out, you know, you're kind of like already grandpas, you know. So what I get in here is that you're so you're so laid back, in a sense that, like I said, people feel better after they talk to you. People trust you with their life. People trust you with especially about like talking about so many things. What I get, especially from the elephant spirit there, learn from the past, right? So I feel like people just trust you with their secrets. That's what I get here. Let's take a look further. Yeah, there you go. That's the actual gentle and how do I say this, laid back card, you know. Like the strength card is, the ruling is Leo, and they rule the identity. So I feel like you're someone who's kind of like very okay. People see you as someone who's very okay with their identity, or like with their upbringing, you know. Something about the way you carry yourself makes people kind of like, you're so confident. Maybe deep down you're not, but what people get, you're like so patient, you're a very good listener, you're calm, and people would trust you with a lot of things in their life, and you'll be surprised about what people would trust you with. And you're someone who's you could be a very calculated person, or you could be very like a patient planner type of person, but there's something about you that people would know. I feel like your coworker would know to not cross you in any other way, because like I said, there's like that ancient vibe in you. So people were just kind of like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna mess with this one, you know. But I feel like also on the other hand, you could be too serious sometimes. That's what I get in here. Yeah, there you go. The ruling is another one of Leo ruling here. We have the King of Fire. That is the King of Wands. You're attractive. That's what they get also. So like I said, you know, so you could be from the outside like a sexy person, or just someone who's very attractive, and you know, like it feels like you're, I'm sorry to say this, like you're shallow in a way on the first impression, but after they talk to you, the opinion change. You know, you're just like, oh, hold on. Who did I just meet in here? You know, like what just happened? So I feel like you throw a lot of people off the bat. You know, you shock people in your own way. Because yeah, like I said, you know, deep down you're very, yes, we have the, yeah, you're very attractive. We have the devil here. Very attractive, very, people misunderstood you a lot. That's what I get. And we have temperance. Like I said, you know, it's like, you know, your demons. So it's like, there is something about you that people wouldn't expect you would know, you know, but like after they talk to you, they get it. Why you know that? But it's just that people would be shocked. I feel like your coworker is, a lot of them is shocked of how the depth, you know, that happens. It goes, the lower is so deep. So there's something about you that's like, it's shocking to people. I feel like a lot of your coworker, not only people here, a lot of your coworkers shocked with how much you carry, and just like, why haven't even you say anything? Because when we have the strength in here and the devil and the temperance, so you need to be asked first, you know. So when people approach you with this topic, or they just discover it from somewhere else, and you're just like, they're just surprised with, I didn't know it was happening, you know. Yes, Ace of Pentacles, someone who's, they see you go far in life, and Empress, very attractive. So like I said, I feel like people would underestimate, or people would estimate something different, expect something different coming from you, and what they get is like an ancient grandpa, you know. So what they expect is like a very, like a, not that you're not that, but like the deepest layer of who you are is a very exact opposite from what they expect. So it looks like the people that initially wanted to talk to you kind of like, oh, I didn't, yep, that's not my cup of tea. But the people that knows from these people that you're actually that kind of person feels interested and wanted to talk to you, because maybe you were too intimidating, or you were too beautiful, you know, like you're too attractive to even know about this stuff. So that's why I get misconception, not so good of a feeling, but that's what we have in here. That would be that for you, pile number 2. We're gonna move to pile number 3 now. Thank you so much, and have a very lovely day. If you'd like to book a reading, a link in the description, I have that. And yeah, let's move on to pile number 3. Okay, pile number 3, you chose remain positive. So interesting impression that I get in here. Your coworker think you're better than people. That's what I get. I feel like you can, it could be the way you appear. It's not the truth, right? It's their perception of you. I feel like they see you as someone who think you're better than a lot of people. And it could be because you're more experienced, or it could be because you're just give off a very different vibe from most people. Or it could be just you have a higher self-esteem than most people, and you're more confident in a way. But I feel like a lot of them feels like you feel like you're better than them. And what I get in here is that you're kind, you're kind-hearted, I don't see a lot of things in the first place. So I feel like a lot of your coworker, first of all, let me just say this, I don't think a lot of your coworker really know you. So their impression of you and what they think and their opinion of you is kind of shallow, because it's a shallow part of you, okay? So whatever I'm gonna say here, it's going to be very basic probably for you. But what I get is that they know you have a lot more going on, but it's just that maybe you're a very private person, so you kept it to yourself. And that's what makes people speculate that you're better than them. So that's what I get here. Yeah, 55. We have snake spirit, time to heal. There could be like a very like a famous breakdown, or like a famous situationship that happened here in your life. I feel like they knew you, or what they have on their head right now is their impression of how things were in your life. We have the antelope spirit. It's that life is speeding up. You're moving forward a lot. I feel like pile number 3. You're this collective is, you guys didn't stick around to see things for the worse, to see things for the better. I feel like you keep moving, you keep your life moving, and you keep doing, and you just keep moving. You know, that's what I get in here. You just keep going and going and going. So I think that kind of kept you from being too known to your coworker. You know, it's like they just only scratched the surface of who you are, not deep down what actually goes within. That's what I get in here. And I feel like a lot of I feel like they realize too, a lot of your coworker realize that they kind of misunderstood about you a lot, but they know that you've been through a lot, you know, that's for a fact, as we have for time to heal. So you could be a very different person than who you were before. That's why with the remain positive, it feels like you're just resetting, you know, the version of yourself that people kind of left a little, you know, like a little taken aback, I guess, by how things are, by how you are as of recently. So I feel like you're just a surprise, you know, for a lot of people, for your coworker, especially recently. Yeah, we have the King of Cups in here. Six of Swords. You're moving forward from something. So whatever it is, it doesn't let me see what goes on like for such a long time. You could be just entering a new workplace, you know, or like a new project. You know, you could be in a very completely new place where people don't know you for such a long time, but their expression is not much, you know. So I feel like people just know you by your story, I feel like, and not that much around it. You're someone who's patient, kind-hearted, like I said before, and you're compassionate, you know, but like, again, you know, the distance with these Six of Cups, I feel like you kept a very healthy boundaries of who you are in your workplace, and that makes people think of you kind of like, you know, so maybe a little cold or a little distance. What I get here, the Page of Fire, you have a lot of bold ideas, that's what I get. You have a very creative imagination, someone who would absolutely down, I feel like, for any adventure. So people see you as a very adventurous person, but also you're, again, back to it, you know, you're a very balanced person. I feel like you're someone who's like experienced with many things, and another King of Water, King of Cup twice in here. So very, very kind-hearted. It's like when people ask for help, you would help them. You would absolutely help them. You would absolutely encourage or advise anything that you could do. But when it comes to you personally, it looks like whoever knows you, your coworker, see the reflection of themselves through you, you know? So you could be someone with a, who knows, you know, you could be identified with a lot of devil energy. Well, people, when they knew you, they see themselves in you. So I feel like you're prone to a lot of projection, you know, from a lot of people. But also the good thing is that it kept you shielded from who you truly are. Like some part of you is still belong to yourself. So what I get in here is like, you're very compassionate, very understanding. You might be like, you're very easy to read people. And I think that's what makes people kind of like, oh, you think you're better than me, you know, or something like that. Because people are easy to read, I feel like, from your perspective. I get your perspective more than people, but mostly a coworker kind of like, you're just secretive, you know, you don't talk about many things in your personal life. You don't indulge on many details about your life. And also we have the Wheel of Fortune. Yes. So you're like, something about your arrival or something about your work, it changes the whole thing, you know, it changes the game, it changes the way people see things. So you're kind of like the type of person, like I said, you know, who's kind of experienced. And to be honest, I feel like people respect you a lot, pile number 3. And I think that's why you could be, it could be that you're just arrived in this place, or you're just kind of like a higher up type of person. So usually people don't really analyze your personality, you know, like whatsoever. People just kind of like perceive your reputation precedes you. That's what I get in here. But yeah, with the Wheel of Fortune and Queen of Wands, it looks like you're attractive, you know, you're like passionate, kind-hearted, and you're you know, adventurous in a way, but nothing beyond that. Like I said, it's a shallow perception that they have about you. So interesting. That's what we see in here. Thank you so much for being here. If you'd like to book a reading, link in the description, and I will see you in the next one. Let's move on to pile number 4. Hello, pile number 4. Last but not least, you chose You Are Ready. So first of all, your coworker sees you as someone who's always at the center of attention. People, like it could be 2,000 people, 3,000 people in a room, people would look at you immediately. So you're someone with a very strong aura. I feel like all of the attention is you, like I said. Someone authoritative could be as well. You know, you could have these leadership qualities in you, or someone that would, you know, lead the way and people would trust you. Someone who's charismatic, that's what I get. And what I get also is like, could be like a rumor going on where you're just like, you could be wearing whatever juju going on, whatever voodoo situation that makes you so compelling to a lot of people. What I get in here, interesting. I'm so sorry if you don't believe in that stuff. Just quickly skip when I said that. But yeah, something about you. You're stoic. On top of that, I feel like you kept to yourself. It's like a high priestess. I'm not surprised if we have the high priestess. But what I get in here is that you know your stuff and you kept it to yourself. So you're not. That's why people see you as a leader. You're rational. Your coworker sees you as someone who's like very, very rational. We have Dove Spirit, number 21, be peace in there. Okay, so that gives you the archetype of someone who would kind of sometimes even sacrifice their own happiness for the greater good. So I think that's why your aura is like it's very compelling to a lot of people. Something about you just feels magical to people. It's like you're very peaceful and you're very laid back and you're very authentic. That's what I get. Your coworker thinks here with the peacock spirit, it said let it shine. So you have a good heart, and I think that's why people also kind of have a hard time to believe whether like you're being genuine or not. Sometimes people second guess your intention because not everybody is kind these days. Collective, right? So I feel like people sometimes can have the benefit of the doubt, can have a doubt about your truest intention. Like there is no way a person could be this good. There is no way a person could be this kind. So yeah, you probably kind of like, whoa, that is bad. Yeah, because that's how it is in the real world. But I feel like you're just the type of person who would because you've been through many things. Your coworker sees you as someone who have a very massive capacity to have empathy, to have sympathy, and to have compassion to a lot of people. People respect you. People hold such a high regard of you, I think. Just so you know, here, pile number 4, I feel like people look up to you a lot, and I think you might feel like not like it, or maybe you already feel like it, who knows, but I feel like they see you as someone you've been through so many things in life, and you've been through heartache, and even right now maybe you're not exactly in a good place in your life, but you still managed to help people around, and you're just someone who's not, I feel like people see you as someone who's not consumed by their own grief, not consumed by their own sadness, not consumed by their own experiences in life. You're the type of person who would always consider that there are other people. You're wise, you're mature. I feel like that's what I get in here. Yes, justice, exactly. So you've been through a lot, you've seen a lot, and you're a very fair person on top of that. So people just naturally lean to you for wisdom, naturally lean to you for enlightenment or any other type of soul searching. You're someone they want to know, they want to seek, and we have the 10 of air. Exactly. You could be like I get in here like a packing up a divorce or something like that, or packing up a very like a massive life experiences. Look at this. You're in a rough spot, I feel like, or you've been through a very rough spot in life. You've managed to move to the other side of the door. As we have here the Sun card, you've managed to turn your life upside down and upside again. You've managed to get out of whatever bad situation you were before, and I feel like you're very famous for that. So people would naturally lean to you for an advice, for an enlightenment. Like I said before, I feel like you're the type of person that people just want to approach when it comes to soul searching, when it comes to, it's just like like I said, you've been through so many things that I feel like you're just the person to go to. That's what I get in here. So like I said, you could be high up in authority, so people look up to you for rules, expectations, but people know you also as someone who's very committed to their goals. You're someone who would stop at nothing. So you're relentless, pile number 4. And I feel like also, again, been through it all, been through the hard ones and the easy ones, and you're still standing. So I feel like a lot of people feel inspired in a way with you, and regardless of that pain, even the worst possible scenario, you could be still the type of person who would offer their shoulder for people to cry on, So it's like, I feel like they also wonder many times where when it's our turn, you know, to kind of console them when they're in a time of sadness, but you just kept it to yourself. You're not bragging your sadness. You're not letting it out. You're not, again, you're not easily, maybe you don't easily trust people, or it's just that you know you've got it covered, you know, so you don't really look for revelations from people. You trust yourself, and that makes them trust you, you know. So I feel like you're just, you can be very complicated too. What I get in here with the 5 of fire, 5 of wands, and the 10 of air, that is 10 of swords. So you have a side of you that kind of, people don't always see your vision. People don't always get your perspective, but eventually they'll get it. So yeah, stop at nothing. Someone who's very relentless, someone who's, you're always committed to your goal, and people respect that, and your coworker respect that. And that's what we have for this prediction. If you'd like to book a reading, link in the description. Thank you so much for being here, and until the next time, everyone. And yeah, I will see you in the next reading, and I hope you enjoyed this first video. And yeah, have a very lovely day ahead.